Hello everybody, and welcome back to My Thoughts, the series where I give my thoughts on the latest Cars news. And today, I'm very excited because out of the blue, the Disney Parks Instagram has given us a pretty big update on the upcoming Cars section coming to Frontierland in Walt Disney World in Florida, and it's confirmed a pretty popular fan theory that this area is themed to Piston Peak from Planes, Fire, and Rescue. That's right, we have a Planes reference in 2025. As I'm sure many of you remember, back in August, it was announced that a new Cars-themed area would be coming to Disney World. Specifically, it would be taking over Tom Sawyer Island at Frontierland in the Magic Kingdom Park. It was a pretty controversial announcement, since Tom Sawyer Island had been there since opening day, and of course a lot of people were upset with it being replaced. But a lot of people were also pretty excited to see this new Cars-themed area. It was announced that we'd get two different rides, a big off-road ride, and a smaller ride made for kids. We were told something along the lines of the Cars characters visiting a different location, and as you can see, this is all really wilderness off-road themed, appropriate since this is part of Disney's Frontierland. But thanks to the presence of a large piston-shaped mountain in the background of the concept art, people started to speculate that this was a location we'd seen before, and a popular fan theory began to spread that the Cars characters were probably visiting Piston Peak National Park from Planes, Fire, and Rescue. I thought this was pretty likely. Piston Peak is a pretty woodsy area, it fits with the theming that we're going for with this Cars section, and it's a reference to something we've seen before in the Cars universe. But honestly, I was never 100% on board, just because seeing the Planes series referenced is insanely rare, basically never happens. But if you know the Disney parks, then you know these guys are always completely committed to things like world building, continuity, and cohesion. And, well, today it was officially confirmed that yes, this location is going to be Piston Peak. Give me 1 second while I freak out over the fact that we're getting a section in Disney World based on the Planes movies. That's absolutely insane. Like, I can't get over that. And, you know, the funny thing is, this isn't a Planes section, obviously. It's a Cars section. McQueen and Mater, probably some of the other Cars characters, are there visiting Piston Peak. It's basically gonna be Piston Peak in terms of geography and name alone. I'm sure there will be some direct references to Planes, Fire, and Rescue, but I think most of those will be visual and architecture-wise, you know, just how the place looks, since, again, they are basing it on another location. It's not like they're making a Planes land. It's not like there's gonna be a Planes ride. There's not. It's a Cars section using a location that already exists in the Cars universe. It just so happens to be a place from Planes. Now, honestly, I don't know how to feel about this. The Cars fan side of me is so super excited that they referenced something from Planes, a franchise I don't even like, but seeing it referenced in 2025 is so cool, and seeing that they're going to go all in and theme a section to this, that's awesome. But the Disney Parks fan side of me thinks it honestly is kind of desperate. Adding a Cars section to Disney World is cool. It's something I've wanted to see for years since California has Cars Land and Disney World has basically nothing. But having like an off-road woods-themed Cars area just feels kind of strange to me. There's nothing really off-road or woods-themed in the Cars franchise, typically, and the fact that they had to go all the way to Planes to grab the location for it, I don't know, that does feel kind of desperate to me, and I think that they could have put the Cars area somewhere else, had it themed to a bit more traditional Cars universe stuff that we see, and maybe did something else with Tom Sawyer Island. I don't know, guys, it wouldn't be my first idea for a Cars section, and it does feel kind of scraping for ideas to me. But hey, this is what they're doing. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and they went out of their way to connect it to something pre-existing from the Cars universe. I can't wait to see Piston Peak merchandise coming out and see all the new little pieces of world building that they put here. The Instagram post here gives us a cartoony map, like an in-universe map, and already gives us a bit more world building. As you can see, they have a little mascot for Piston Peak, which is so funny. He's probably kind of like a Smokey the Bear type character. You can see he's like a park ranger. He's going to be telling you what to do and what not to do. I love that they have a little mascot. Makes perfect sense for something that is in-universe a national park. You see that all the time here. The post itself says, "Welcome to the wilderness." See what you did there? Take a look at Piston Peak National Park coming to Frontierland at Walt Disney World, inspired by the history and iconic sites of the American frontier. Now this cartoony map gives us a pretty good look at what's going to be in the land. I think it's a bit easier to follow than the original concept art. It's very simplified here. You can see some really nice features like this really cool looking waterfall. There's a lodge building, some geysers, and just kind of general parts of the racetrack that's going to be part of the main ride here. You could also see the piston on the mountain here covered in snow. Now, one thing that I'm very happy to see here is this waterfall flowing into a big river that makes up kind of the perimeter of part of the land. Tom Sawyer Island, the area this was replacing, is, of course, an island. It was a man-made island, and you could take these really nice boat tours around it. I actually went on one when I was in Disney World a few months back and took a bunch of footage of it. This image from wdwmagic.com shows a comparison between Tom Sawyer Island as it currently stands pre-construction and the Cars Land concept art that we got last year. And as you can see, last year's Cars Land concept art didn't have the water in it. It doesn't have the waterfall. It looks like it doesn't have the river at all. And obviously a lot of people were pretty upset that this iconic man-made river in Disney World was gonna be filled in for Cars Land. So I'm very, very happy to see that they've gone back on that and are keeping, at the very least, a good chunk of the river. I think that'll make the area look much nicer and also flow much better with the rest of the park. And speaking of the rest of the park, you could actually see some other attractions behind Piston Peak, letting you know where exactly in the park this is. The rest of Frontierland is back there, Splash Mountain, now Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and it's not on camera here, but right off to the other side is the Haunted Mansion. This is an image I took on my trip back in February. As you can see, the island and the Haunted Mansion are right up next to each other. The line for Haunted Mansion literally cuts off at where the river is, and this area of the river is gonna be filled in. And I don't know, I just think it's super weird. Disney always does a really good job blending land together, making it look like a natural transition from one area to the other. So I'm sure it'll end up looking really nice and it'll be all covered in woods and everything, and you won't really be able to tell that there's a car section right next to the Haunted Mansion. But there's just something really funny and really off to me about the fact that right next to the Haunted Mansion is the place from Planes, Fire, and Rescue. But there you have it, guys. Confirmation that this area in Disney World is going to be themed around Piston Peak, and just generally a better look at what's going to be there. Let me know what you think about this new section down in the comments. Like I've been saying all throughout the video, I'm excited. I don't think it's the best choice for a Cars section, but as a big Cars fan, I am very excited. I am going to miss that lake, though, going all the way around. I can't wait to go to Disney World with my grandchildren when I'm 80 and be all like, "Oh, when I was younger, there used to be a river here." And they'll go, "Shut up, Grandpa. We want to go on the Ellen DeGeneres ride, which is reopened now. Oh no!" But there you have it, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more Disney Parks content from me, check out my other channel, Muptown Funk, where I have a massive Disney World vlog coming out in just a few days, which features some of the park footage that I showed in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.